Welcome back to Overtime Heroics. I'm Mason Shatwell, and joining me today is UFC Middleweight Mr. Sam Alvey. Sam, how are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I can see you driving, so I just wanted to start off with saying thank you for joining us today. I'm sure you're going to be very busy with your fight coming up in just over a week's time now.
No, I appreciate you having me on. Sorry you caught me driving. I was supposed to be there already.
Oh, good, man. How do you feel leading up to this fight?
I feel great. I've got no injuries, knock on wood. There's still time something falls off. But the training's been going well. I've had training partners. I've traveled a little more. I've been to Vegas once or twice to work out there with Syndicate MMA. But I've really, all my coaches have come behind me. My team's behind me, and I'm feeling really good.
That's great to hear, man. I'm not going to ask for your game plan, but how do you see your opponent coming in this fight? What are you expecting from him?
He's fast. I mean, he is. If you watch any of his fights, whether his UFC fights or his pre-UFC fights, he is a fast fighter. He's got quick hands, good kicks. He's in and out real quick. And so I got to find that range, and I got to dictate the range. I can't let him do it. If I can manage to do that, it'll be a good night for me.
100%. And how did this fight come about with Roman?
The same way as most. You know, to be honest, I thought I was going to get cut after my last loss. I've been in a bit of a slump. I've had a hell of a lot of good fights. I mean, every fight I've had has been pretty good. But the UFC can only keep me as long as they can keep me, and I have not been getting into W's. So when they came to me and said, "Hey, we got to fight," they said, "Yes." I mean, they didn't even tell me who it was. Said, "Yes, give it to me. I'm in." So from there it was locked in. They didn't announce it for a long time. I mean, I think they just announced it like last Thursday or Friday. But it's a go. I'm good, and can't wait to get in that octagon again.
100%. And as you mentioned, it wasn't announced till only a few days ago. Was there any reason behind that?
If there is, it was beyond my pay grade. I have no idea.
And as you mentioned before, you thought you was going to get cut after the last fight. Do you believe it's now or never in terms of the UFC?
Yeah, no, it is. As much as I respect and love that they've given me this last chance, I do understand it's the last chance, and it's not that I have to win; it's that I have to win impressively. I have to prove that I am still one of the most dominant fighters in the UFC, and that is what I plan on doing. I don't plan on squeaking out a decision. I plan on getting a finish, a big finish, and impressive finish.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. How has the training been leading up for this then? I know you said you've been to Vegas, but how has this camp compared to previous?
It's a little different. My kids and my wife, they were moving to Tennessee, and they moved there before me. They moved there about a month ago. So I've been hanging out here kind of bored by myself, which is, I mean, I'm bored a lot, but it has been, I mean, my body's had a lot more time to recover without having to always be doing something with the kids as well. And that's been kind of nice. I still prefer it with the kids, but it is nice getting experience from this side as well.
As you mentioned your children there, I was going to ask, with you being a father yourself, how much motivation do they bring? Do they bring extra motivation for you to put food on the table?
Yes. Yes, they do. I mean, I'm an intelligent guy. I'm a hardworking guy, and whether I'm fighting or doing something else, I will never let them down. But I really want to win for them again. That was my last fight. It's been a minute since I've won a fight. I mean, legitimately, I've had a couple bad decisions and a draw. But I want to win in front of my kids again. That's more important than the paycheck to me right now. I need them to see me as the champion.
100%, man. You mentioned the draw there. I was going to come to that point, so I'll bring it up now. Obviously, back in October, I believe it was, you had the draw, and what was your thoughts immediately after? Because I remember watching it, and I know I scored that fight 29-28 in your way.
Yeah, every judge in the UFC is garbage. They're all terrible. I don't know what back alley they hire these people from, but they should all be fired. And never allowed to be. They should never judge in a regional thing ever again. These are the same judges that scored Conor versus Poirier 10-8 round. Garbage decision, garbage judging, and I don't. And I pick on them because they're nameless, and I don't want to throw anyone's name in there, and I don't know who they are exactly. But it's something has happened with the criteria of the MMA has gotten weaker, has been wimpified. And I hate that that's the case. You can never rely on a good decision anymore. You pretty much know that if it goes to decision, it's going to be the wrong one. And I don't know what has changed in the judging criteria, but they need to change it back.
Yeah, 100%. I've been noticing a lot recently as well, even on some regional shows that judge it, not even just in the UFC, but the judges at the moment, they've just been getting a lot of wrong decisions, and it's really affected some fighters' career. And what do you think that the UFC and other promotions can do to try and stop this? Do you think it's down to the criteria?
Yes, something's changed. I don't know what it is. I don't know what part of the line it is. Maybe it's ESPN. Maybe ESPN. I mean, I am sure, positive, that ESPN has said something to referees or to commissions to make referees stop fights earlier. I am positive of that. Disney doesn't want the long beatdowns. Nowadays, Dan Henderson versus Shogun wouldn't happen. They would have stopped the fight already. And that's got to be coming from something higher than the UFC, because the UFC loves great fights, great comebacks, stories like that. But things that they could do to change it, if they get more judges. I mean, there's no reason that there's 3 judges. There should get 5, 6, 9, whatever. Get a lot more judges. I think that would help. That would help definitely negate the bad judges out there. And get rid of 10-8 rounds. 10-8 rounds is something from the boxing era. It's when you have 10, 12, 15 rounds to make it up. In MMA, you have 3 rounds. One 10-8 round changes the fight, changes the outcome. It changes everything about it. And so I would definitely get rid of the 10-8 rounds. For anything shy of Frankie Edgar versus Gray Maynard, that was a 10-8 round. But other than that, they've been 10-9s.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you there. You mentioned Dan Henderson before, and I know you've trained with him quite a lot in the past. I wanted to ask, what was Dan like on a regular basis, day in, day out in the gym?
He's still there day in, day out at the gym. I mean, it's his gym. He's an animal. He's a different breed. I don't know what genetically is superior to him, but he is like, man, he's just stronger, tougher, and better than just about everyone.
Yeah, well, you can see that from his career. It seemed that he got better with age, like a fine wine. So that doesn't surprise me at all. I wanted to talk about your last fight as well with Julian. Obviously, it didn't go your way, but what did you take away from that fight?
I took away a real sore throat for a couple of weeks. That got me pretty good. You know what? The ring surprised me. Julian's a stud. He hits as hard as I thought he would, and he was just a little faster than me that night. The ring surprised me. I was planning on dictating the ring, and then I got to the apex, and it was the smallest octagon I fought in years. I mean, it's literally been 15 years since I fought in anything that was that small. So I've changed my training a little bit this time to be prepared for the smaller octagon.
And obviously, with the finish, you didn't end up tapping to the.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, man?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. Obviously, with the finish, you didn't end up tapping, and I wanted to ask about that because I know a lot of different fighters have different views on that. In a choke, would you rather go out the way you did, or obviously tap? Because it seemed that you wanted to go out on your will on that night.
Well, I tell you, from a fan's point of view, winning would have been better, but not tapping. People loved that I didn't tap. And for the rest of my life, I'm going to get to brag, say, yeah, I didn't tap. So I went out. So from a bragging standpoint, I guess don't tap, but there's really no reason not to. I lost either way. I lost whether I tapped or went to sleep.
I wanted to ask a question about the UFC sponsor as well now, Venom, compared to Reebok and the stuff that they give you on Fight Week. How does the gear compare to the Reebok stuff?
It's almost exactly the same. It's almost the same gear. Venom, it seems to be a little slimmer. Like everything's a little tighter on me. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but it's not bad. The shirts and shorts that you get are just as nice. But I was a fan of Reebok too. I like Reebok. I like Venom now as well.
I'm going to quickly go back to the fight again in October. Obviously, after the draw, you've now gone back down to middleweight. What made that decision from going back from 205 back down to 185?
Can't win a damn decision at 205. Man, there were like 3 fights at 205 that I won, that you rewatched, and I won it. And I was just a smaller opponent. And I assume that these blind judges they have in there see, well, he's smaller, he must have lost. So I went back down to try and be the bigger fighter again.
And I know at 205 you've fought some great guys before, and one stands out to me, Rashad Evans. I wanted to ask, what was that experience like fighting Rashad?
Rashad, he's just next. He's a super nice guy, very talented fighter. I've been envious of his career my whole career. He's just a great guy, and to get to share the octagon with him was a beautiful experience, and that I won just made it even better.
And I know online you've got all various social medias, but one that I see quite frequently is your TikTok. Is that something that you think is going to be good to get even more of a following? Because I see quite a few views. I checked the profile before, and there's been over 1.3 million likes on there.
Yeah, I'm at 1.3 already. That's awesome. You know what? I love TikTok. It is my favorite. It's the closest. So I understand. I wouldn't have a job as talented as I am, as great a fighter as I am. I wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for the fans. I know my what I have doesn't add much to the world. Like, I can't build buildings, I can't sell anything, but I can hit real hard. And because fans appreciate how hard I can hit, how well I can fight, that I have a job. And TikTok has been the greatest medium for me to be able to converse and thank the fans for what they've done for me. So I love TikTok. I love what I've been able to do with it, and I love what's going on with it.
I know a lot of fighters are different in this way, but I see that you interact with your fans quite a lot. Is that something that you find really important?
Yeah, again, I owe my career to them. I mean, hard work and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, you don't need to watch fighting. You don't need Smile and Sam. But they choose to they choose to watch me. They choose to support me. And I will be forever grateful for what they've allowed me to do with my life. And anything I can do to help them, I try to help them. Even just giving them a little behind the looks at what the UFC does for its fighters. UFC, it's easy to bitch about them, but I love them, the UFC, and I like sharing that love with my fans.
100%. Just a couple more. Can we get a final prediction for your fight?
For my fight, I'm going to submit him in the 3rd.
Love to hear it. Is there any shout outs or sponsors you'd like to sign off with?
You know what? I do most of that on my TikTok and Instagram now. So please follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. I'm at Smilin' Sam, SMILENSAM. That's all my social medias, and I would love to hear from you guys on there.
Well, Sam, it's been a pleasure, man. It's always good talking to you, and I can't wait to see you fight again come next weekend. Take care, man.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam.